Alright guys, just gotta make sure. Yeah, it is actually recording this time. Good stuff. Alright guys, from the top, just today we're going to go through some manual handling. I just before we get started, I wanted to bring up a couple of things for housekeeping. Number one, the hazards around the place. So there's a lip here, don't want anybody to trip on the lip. Just like, no, it's not going to go anywhere, but you don't need to trip over it, so please be aware of that. Table and chair legs, please be aware of those when you're getting up and moving around. Don't want anybody to trip over. There's water outside. If there's any water inside, that presents a slip trip hazard as well. So please be aware of any water on the floor. And there's a kitchen there and stores utensils and whatnot. So be aware of those potential hazards as well. Today we're going to go through manual handling, and that's going to look like a video. We're going to start us off, and then we'll have a discussion about what manual handling means to you and how it affects your day-to-day. And then I will go through the manual handling procedure, and then I'm going to get you guys to go through the manual handling procedure as well. Is that all clear and fair enough? Cool beans. Let's put this down. While I'm resetting the camera and making sure it's still working, do you guys use manual handling on a day-to-day basis? No.
Very rarely.
Okay, that looks pretty good. Very rarely. Alright. Don't really have to pick up anything heavy for work or for pleasure? Just a bag. Just act as if this is the first time you're watching it. I might actually pause it a couple of times this time through.
Lifting and carrying is part of life from childhood. In fact, as children, lifting and carrying comes naturally. As adults, we're often told how to lift and carry correctly. It's a message that is drilled into us. Yet, we find that bad lifting and carrying technique is a major cause of workplace injuries, including the potential for serious damage to the back. For children, correct lifting technique is automatic. They don't consider that there's another way to do it. But as adults, we get lazy, we get complacent. We bend our spines, lift with our backs, and do ourselves a lot of damage. So, what is it that children do naturally that we should be doing? First, they get a good foundation for the lift. Children instinctively know it will be much easier to lift something with their feet apart, creating a stable base to lift from. Around hip width apart, with a load between the feet, is a good stance for lifting. Second, they keep the back as straight as possible, and bend the knees to get down to the load. Since children's back muscles are not fully developed, this is the only way a child can lift a significant load. And because it doesn't put stress on the back, it's the best way for everyone to lift. Next, they get a good, firm grip on the load, using the whole hand not just their fingers. Keeping the back straight, they then straighten the legs to get into a standing position. When carrying the load, children will hold it in close to the body. The farther away a load is from you, the heavier it will seem, and the more stress it will place on your muscles and spine. A child will act to minimize the stress on developing bones and muscles. Putting the load down is the same process reversed. The whole thing's pretty simple, really. So simple our kids manage it without even thinking. But it's not just incorrect technique that could hurt you in the long run. You'll also run the risk if you try to lift loads that you really shouldn't. If you have to move something that is too heavy, too big, or too awkward, what should you do? Using a mechanical aid to help you lift or move the load is the best option. If this is impossible, seek help from colleagues and perform a team lift. If, however, a load is beyond your comfortable lifting capacity, and neither of these options is available or practical, then simply do not lift it. Children lift and carry properly because they're not grown up enough to do it incorrectly. Only when we grow to be bigger and stronger will we start to pick up bad habits, not considering that in the long run it could damage us irreparably. It's not hard to save yourself pain and trouble when lifting and carrying. In fact, it's child's play.
Alright guys, what do you think about that?
A couple of things.
Alright. We just pause it out.
Acting like a kid is the best idea.
Yes, absolutely. Grab this. Handouts for you. So without looking at the handouts, we've just got some instructions on it. What do you reckon are the basics of doing manual handling?
With the feet,
Yeah?
with the legs.
Feet hip width apart, squat, try not to bend your back, hold it close to your body.
Okay, so when you say don't bend your back, can you bend the bottom part of your back? Like try squat, doesn't the bottom part of my back bend?
I guess not. I don't know. No. What part are you not bending? Because you've got to bend it a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so keep it as straight as you can.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I like that. Okay, and then what comes after squatting?
You lift your legs, stand straight with your legs.
Yeah.
Use your whole hand.
Please do your legs.
Whole hands, not fingers.
Sure. Sure. And then when you've got the load,
Close to you.
yeah. If you're turning around, about face, how do you do that?
How do you turn around?
Yeah, you just
While
jump.
while you're standing up, then turn around, not as you're picking it up.
So good technique is to twist with your feet, or turn with your feet instead of twisting your back. With your back's not great. And then placing the load is,
Reverse it, how you pick it up.
yeah. One thing that it didn't touch on is testing a load. So if you come to a box and you're not sure what's in the box, or you don't know, how heavy it's going to be, it's a good thing if it's on the ground before you heave and hurt yourself. Just give it a little push with your foot or something so you can test to see if it's actually within your weight limit. So what I'll do is I'll run through the technique with this load here, and I'll move it from here to the table over there, and I'll get you guys to instruct each other to do the same thing. Alright, pretty simple, come up, load, give it a test. It's not that heavy, I can move it pretty easily with my feet. Wide stance, ending down, gripping the whole thing. Power up with the legs, not with the back. So the alternative would be this, which is pull. Right, put another strain on my back. So I need to put on there. usually if there's something with a handle and it's heavy, if there's something with a handle that's designed to hold it, so if it's heavy, what you want to do is get two. That way you've got a balance. If it's just the one, my spine's actually weighing down on this side, and this isn't a great spine structure to hold something up. So in this situation, hands on both sides. Turning with my legs, not twisting. Twisting's bad news. Walking forward wherever I want to put something, putting it down. Alright. And then go through in the reverse, imagining that I'm just coming up to this, automatically pick it up before I don't know how heavy it is. Give it a bit of a test. Check if it's too heavy. Go with both hands, turning wholly, not just my spine. Walking wherever we want to put it down. I'm going to put it down on the ground today. Put it down on the ground, squatting, facing it down, and same as that. Straight, nice and easy. Alright, we'll get you guys to do it, one at a time. Andy, I know you're suffering right now, so do you want to do it first?
Yeah, sure, first.
Alright Sam, I need you to instruct him, so just take him through the steps. Now if you use your handout on the second page, yeah, so that's got the steps. So we just want to walk him through it.
Oh,
So it says assess the load. Think and plan before you lift. So kick it. It's not too heavy. Can you lift that amount of heavy?
yep.
Cool. Then, well, it doesn't say on here, but you've got to keep your feet in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
When lifting, keep the back straight, bend at the knees.
The knees.
Keep your spine in a neutral position, and then hold hands, stand up with your legs, and then hold it close to your waist.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe a bit lower. Cool. Then turn around with your feet and walk towards the table.
Yeah.
And pull it down.
Yeah.
Groovy.
Yay. Do you want to do it in reverse?
Well, yeah, you need to, I need to start to doing it both ways as well, so same thing this time, run through the steps.
Okay. Yeah, it's not too low.
You just want to make sure he's going through the steps as he does it, so do we test the weight first?
You didn't have to
Oh.
put it back down. Put it back down. Okay, not too heavy. Right. Lift, turn with your feet.
Good.
And back around and squat. Right.
How does that go?
Yeah, that's good,
Okay,
very
with your
good.
thumbs up.
Very good. Alright, now we get the swap rolls, so Sam, you get to do the lift and Andy gets to make all the, take all the, make all the calls, call the shots.
The instructions there answer the question I had. How high do you hold it against you?
Yeah, so what Andy did when he picked it up, he kept his arms bent. That's
Yeah.
increasing stress on his skeleton. So keeping your arms straight reduces the stress.
Okay.
Because your muscles aren't sedated. Reducing stress, less likely to get injury. As long as your structure is in the best way it can be. So obviously it's not too heavy and you felt like you could hold it up. But if it was, say, 15 kilos,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to hold that up for a very long time before you start to feel, or you know, even 20, 25 kilos, then you'd be running out of puff very quickly. So yeah, holding it with straight arms is much better.
It's like rock climbing, keep your arms straight before you wear out really quick.
Exactly like rock climbing.
Okay. Should we start?
Yep.
Okay.
So if you switch pages there, Amy.
Assess the load and see if it's light enough for your lift.
Sure.
Yeah,
So
keep your feet
In there, it's
shoulder
got the
width apart.
planning stage. You can see it's plain. I've made it very simple here, but if we were, let's say we had an instance where we had to get around something, right? In this situation, do you think you'd plan a travel course, or maybe move the chair out the road? So that's what the planning or the lift is. Look at where you're actually going as well as the lift itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to correctly lift this chair now?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
So you're planning your path to move the box
Yeah, yeah.
and don't bend the back.
Tested it.
Tested it with your hands.
So how heavy do you reckon it is?
4 kilos.
Cool. Cool. What we're going for is about 5 kilos. So continue as you are.
Yep, so get to the spot where you want it and don't bend your back. And yes, got it there. Very good.
Right, good work.
Yay.
Nice work, guys. So we've run through that pretty well. So let's open this discussion back up. What do you think is the maximum amount of weight you should be lifting on your own?
Oh, I think that depends on who it is. Are you asking us?
Yeah. Each of you individually. How much do you think you could lift safely?
Safely or legally?
Safely. How much do you think you could safely lift before you put yourself in danger of an injury?
25 kilos.
25 kilos. That's pretty heavy.
I'm bad at guessing weight. How heavy is a microwave?
Probably about, I want to say about 10, 15 kilos.
Okay, let's say 10 then safely, and
Mhm.
then it's probably getting a bit dirty.
Okay, so what happens when you get something that you want to move that's bigger than that?
You start to use your back.
Right.
I'll push it.
So
What should you do?
what would you do if you needed that to be somewhere else? If you needed to move the
I would
microwave in the box that it came in, because it's just a little bit heavier than a microwave, right? How would you get that from point A to point B?
Hey, fine, Andy, come help me move this box.
Right, partner lift's a good idea. We could practice a partner lift here, because we have everybody in the same room, so we might just take the opportunity to do that. And we have this big enough. We might use this box. Now, I know it isn't actually that heavy, but if you guys
Technique.
both want to come around and lift this box up and run through, you should be pretty familiar now with the
Okay.
technique.
So
So,
let's move the hazard out of the way.
yeah, that's good.
Oh,
So we're supposed to know what we're doing now?
Can we kick it together?
Oh.
How do you test?
With something that you're using to lift with, you're probably not going to be able to move that with your foot anyway.
Yeah.
You should have already assessed the weight,
Yeah.
realising you need to be able to lift something.
Alright, so you go, that's too heavy for just me,
Yeah.
and then we would probably try it, and then if you give it a go, you're like, no, you don't have to continue.
Sure, but usually it's something you're already familiar with anyway. So,
Okay.
for example, lifting a steel beam, you wouldn't be able to do that by yourself. It's too big. You could get your friend to help.
Mhm.
You know how much it would weigh because it's steel. You're familiar with the weight of steel.
Okay.
Yeah. So, if it's too heavy, obviously you say, I can't do this.
Let's get one of those lifty things.
Yeah, and you can use the same size.
Just tilt it so you can slide around the.
Sure.
Gotcha. Okay. Alright, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Ready?
Up. And then we're going to the table.
Yeah.
I'll go, you turn that way. We should have planned this before.
Yeah, we should have.
Mhm.
Okay.
Was that okay?
That was fine.
You're
I feel like we might have done a few things wrong.
Well, what you could do better, well let's discuss
I might have
what
done
do you
a
think
few
you could do better?
When we went this way, I felt it was.
I could have stepped closer to the.
When you're putting it down, there's not much you can do to avoid that unless you can get two sides of something like a chair.
Yeah.
But in this case you couldn't. So that's a risk that you have to take to place it down, otherwise you do it on safety anyway. But during the movement from there,
We should have planned that.
there may be a different way you could have moved to get there.
All the way backwards.
Yeah, one in front of the other would have done much better for your spine because
So then
when you were walking like this, you twisted your spine, see? So if
Mm.
you're walking one in front of the other, one person's moving backwards, obviously checking behind themselves,
Mm.
but not moving that spine.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to reverse it?
Ready, and go. You good? You good? Alright, ready? Squat.
Ready?
Nice work, guys. All right, feel free to have a seat. I know that was very heavy.
No, lifting everything.
Just double checking, cool. So over the course of this afternoon, this evening, we have gone through what manual handling is. Yes. Thank you. What manual handling is, we've gone through the video, cute little video. I've given you a demonstration, and then I've decided you both demonstrate safe manual handling. We've talked through all of the issues that we came across. Do you both feel comfortable that now you're able to do safe manual handling?
Yeah.
Okay. I also feel comfortable having started to do it. All I ask from here is that you give me some feedback on the feedback forms. Tell me what you did and didn't like about it, how you felt about the content, and all the rest. So that's the end of the presentation. Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it. I know you had to travel a long way to get here.
Thank you
Thanks,
for
guys.
the instruction.